Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you in another video. All right, so the score was 121-107, and the Lakers got the victory at home. Crypto.com arena against the Suns, who had about 4 starters out. All of the big names were gone. Chris Paul, KD, Ayton, and of course DB were all out of this game. But you did see them run their other guys out there, and those guys played extremely hard. You got to give credit to all of them. And also, prayers out to Bismack Biyombo, who went down with a knee injury. We're not sure exactly how bad it was, but the pain that he was in was enough alone to leave us concerned. So we definitely want him to bounce back strong. First of all, well, I mean, there was a lot of good to say about our win. When you look at Anthony Davis on the boards, you love the fact that he was able to get 21 boards, 3 blocks. I think he walked out of there with 14 points, several assists. So I think that his night, even though we did want to see him score more, when you consider the fact that he cleaned up glass, it was great. Austin Reeves in the efficiency was fantastic, man. I think we walked out of there with like 24.6 assists, I believe it was, something like that. Definitely efficient. Not from behind the arc, though. 1 for 5 or something like that from behind the arc, but everything else, he was really, really efficient. D'Angelo Russell hit 6 threes out there for us tonight, even though he had about 5 or 6 turnovers. He had 6 turnovers. The threes that he made definitely helped, and he really lit it up in the fourth quarter and just kind of ran the score up. That's what we love about his talent, his shooting ability, off the catch and shoot, off the dribble, whatever you need. When he's in his rhythm, you can count on it going in. So that's what I love about having D'Lo. He's just really, really efficient as well. What else do we see tonight? Got to give Rui Hachimura his credit. Came off the bench 5 for 8. Did some really good things down there scoring the ball. Malik Beasley was really good tonight. This was a situation where Malik was just really, really aggressive. I think he was like, I don't remember how many threes he ended up hitting, but I know he attempted 10 of them. And they seemed like they were in rhythm. Guys were looking for him. I thought this was a good night for him. I think you find yourself saying, just like I said once when we leaned on Patrick Beverley one time and he shot very well, and we won the game, it was like, I'm not going to belittle the play that we saw, which was great, but I will be honest and say we still made life hard on ourselves by focusing everything on him, because at the end of the day, it's not about him not playing well or playing well the majority of the time when we're complaining. It's about what's going on around him, how deficient we are rebounding the ball, how small we ultimately are in situations, how easy it is for the defense to attack in angles, more so because he's not a threat defensively. So it just ultimately makes us a weaker overall defensive team. I mean, these things to me are really, really, really obvious. And it makes you look like a hater when you look at a guy who's shooting well, playing well, and then you say, but he shouldn't have been out there in the first place because it made life hard on us for that to be the case. But it is that. It is exactly that. That is the exact opinion. I thought he was amazing with the minutes given. And this is never not going to be a problem. It just is what it is. We're smaller with him on the floor. Life is harder for the rest of our guys when he's on the floor, unless he's shooting really, really well. That's to which he was tonight. So that's what it came down to. We gave up some things on the boards. The score was a lot closer than it needed to be. But because he was hitting his shots and other guys were hitting their shots, it made for a quality game. The only thing I'll say on top of that, just in the vein of complaining, since this is what it is we have a lot of options. So when a team does what we did tonight, it's usually because they don't have many options. Do you know what I mean? It's not in the vein of having 8 and 9 different guys that can go for double figures, that you look to feature a guy who's going to be a deficiency for you, even if he plays well based on other aspects. So it's just like more of what we've been complaining about. But once again, we get away with it because of the playing, the team that we're playing against, and ultimately the fact that they didn't have anybody out there. But if we would have done all of this with their regular starters on the floor, we would not have had a very good game tonight. And I'm saying that with the absolute kindest way I can say it. It would have been very, very ugly. if KD and the guys would have played tonight. What do I say? I want to give credit to all of the players on the Phoenix Suns team. First of all, Josh Okogie, Landry Shamet. Who else was there? Torrey Craig was definitely someone who played very well tonight. Terrence Ross, all those guys came into our building without their guys and made this a tough game for us. They had a 7-point lead a good portion of the first half. And ultimately, the Lakers were able to get it in the fourth quarter, just kind of pull away. But they made life tough on us a good portion of the game. So, I was impressed with those guys. Landale, he was really good tonight, hyper efficient. That kind of thing. So you just got to give credit to the Phoenix Suns, a team that I've been saying has a weak bench. That bench came out and gave us a lot. They gave us a whole lot. And you can see where, again, if they had their starters, it would definitely be enough. So not to say that I gained respect for them, because it's pretty much what I expected to see. But I think they executed a lot better than I expected them to execute against our starters. Let's see. Where do I want to go? LeBron James, he had a good plus-minus tonight. His jump shot looked a lot better tonight. I got to give him his credit. His 3 fell. I think it was like 3 for 7. They fell tonight. Some turnovers. I think it was like 5 turnovers overall. But, you like the fact that he was able to string together some assists at the end with D'Lo catching fire and Braun being the guy that got him a couple of those passes. But it was a rough night to start. The efficiency was definitely not there. The turnovers were there early. It had gotten real ugly early on, just like in the last game. But just like in the last game, he was able to round it out and make it okay in the end. But this has been a very tough struggle for LeBron James. The stretch since he's come back from that foot has not been pretty for us, and we've been calling him out. And so hopefully he can find a way to kind of continue to kind of pull away from his struggles and ultimately get back to his form. And I think we got a long way in terms of him doing that with the jump shot tonight, falling a little bit better tonight. Let's see. Where do I want to go? Also, like I said, D'Lo shooting. Austin Reeves, super efficient. We did not see any Dennis Schroeder tonight. It's the first game I think he's missed probably all season, to be honest with you. Just did not play. I don't know if that was a DNP or if he's hurt, but I know he was dealing with the collar a couple of days ago. Kind of hurt it against Utah, so I was not upset that he didn't get a stretch tonight, regardless of what reason. That's really what the story was, honestly, you guys. Since they were playing their B team out there, there wasn't really a whole lot to say. We struggled. We made life hard on ourselves a lot of the time, but, you saw guys really step up. Like I said, we wanted to center everything around Malik Beasley, it seemed, and kind of give Austin Reeves a bit more shine and D'Angelo Russell. That's kind of what we were doing, just kind of featuring our guards, seeing what they could do for us, letting them get the majority of our shots. So I thought it was a solid, idea, I guess you could say, if that's what you want to kind of do. There's a million different things you can try to do. That's just one of them. So that works for me. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to just get as much comfort and much, experience to our guys as possible. So, that was the way that the coaching staff chose to go. For me, I am not upset at that. I think for me, I would have wanted to see us go with Lonnie Walker more. I think the guys who we didn't play tonight were guys I probably wanted to see. But that's just how it always goes. It's low-hanging fruit for you to come to BDF and hear me say that. But I think it's not as important of a statement, but more so just to say, I think this would have been a good night for Lonnie Walker, Mo Bamba, Wenyen Gabriel, Max Christie, Devon Reed, and those were the guys who got the least minutes. So, I mean, it's okay, you know what I'm saying, because we had to win. So, teams still trying to, put themselves in a position to possibly get the 6th seed and skip the play-in tournament. So, I understand the importance for guys like Bron is like, just get out here and let's just win. But then it's like when you think, let's just win, and then you see what we turn to, it's like you do know that could have went wrong 2 out of 3 times, right? We were relying upon jump shooters and Beasley to hit shots. They went. We won, but I don't know if we don't find ourselves with a much easier way to go if we don't just try to do some other things. But, it is what it is. We saw a nice block by Mo Bamba tonight with the limited minutes he was given. He really, really read a defensive play very well. and swatted something completely to hell. So we were excited about what his length can do just in general. And I want to see a lot more of him as his conditioning continues to get back in shape. He looks good. So that's what I'm excited about, even though it's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see as much of what I'm excited about. When you think about this kind of thing, it's like, all right, what can AD and Bamba do for me together? What does that look like? But it's like, you're not going to see that. And so that's kind of frustrating. Vanderbilt did not have a very good night tonight, 17 minutes. I think he had like 4 boards, nothing else. Again, running plays for him, plays turning into nothing. I don't know when this team's going to figure it out. I say it once a day. Maybe somebody will finally hear my video when I tell you. Vanderbilt is a defensive player that does not need to really do too much offensively. If anything happens for him offensively, it should be off of offensive rebounds, stuff like that. But if we're running plays for him, it's not. It's a very low percentage attack for us. So, God, I feel like if you watch me as religiously as I find myself speaking, if you watch every one of my videos, at this point, I've said so much of this stuff so often till I almost feel like I don't want to even finish the sentence when I say it. Like, I have to remind myself that this could be the first time someone sees my videos, because I'm at a point. This is game 81 where I've said all this stuff twice a day. Every leading up to the games, halftime, and at the end of the games, every game. And so now it's just like, I'm happy we won tonight. I'm not livid like I was at the end of the Utah game, even though we won that one too. It's not the same vibe. It's just like, we kind of just are going to play to the level of the opponent no matter who's on the floor. If Utah wants to pull all their starters, then we'll dumb it down, play to their level. If, for example, tonight Phoenix pull all their starters, all right, we dumb it down and play to their level. So it's just kind of that kind of thing. And then when I see them go up against guys like Kawhi Leonard, it's like, for whatever reason, they just don't have, you know what I mean? It's like, we don't want to compete against him like that. We would much rather schedule this a loss and then like throw all our starters at the B team of the Suns. It's just, it's just not competitive, man. And people get mad at us. They get mad at us for calling them out and not giving them, quote unquote, the respect that they want. And they're talking about, they're going to keep the tennis shoe on our neck or something. I don't know what Bron tweeted today before putting on that green jacket. But it's one of those situations where it's like, bro, you got to know there's cause and effect. If you do all these different things that the Laker fans would love, it would just all that we wanted you to be, then you would hear us sing your praises like we sing anybody else. It's just cause and effect, bro. We're not happy with what we see because we want some type of excellence that I don't think we're just seeing from you. And I don't know that you can morph into what we want you to be or nothing like that, but I do know that this is a process that is going not foul, but south, I guess, a lot of the times. We wanted more, couldn't get it, health, this, not having that, dumb coach here, dumb coach there. It's just a lot of stuff that's not been in our favor. And I think for me as a fan, I'm quick to pull the rug on something I don't think can work. You know what I mean? I'm like that, man. I'm like that. I believe I know what it takes to win, and I don't waste time when it comes to my basketball team. I just don't. I've had my heart broken a million times in a million different ways. And at this point, I know what it takes to be happy. And that happiness comes from real championship victories and defending those championships. And so if we're nowhere near that, I'm gonna speak on what I think can get us there. I'm gonna try to put us in a position to be reminded of what it is that I believe can get us there. And so that is all that I'm about on this channel when it comes to this Laker team. That's what my thinking is about. I don't want to be too much of a nagger or whatever the case may be, somebody who's just complaining all the time. But if there's nothing but complaining to do, and if it ain't nothing but mistakes being made and nothing but stuff that doesn't make any sense going on, and nothing but people giving us excuses instead of legitimate explanations, it's going to get to a point where you're just going to lose your patience. And so that's where we're at. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And when I can't make sense of what I'm looking at, I really get upset. You know, when I can't make sense of it, when I'm not sure if what I'm seeing is done on purpose, when I'm certain somebody's doing something on purpose, then I can be cool with it. Or if I'm certain somebody's making a mistake, or we're just stumbling into ineptitude, fine. But I'm not certain what I'm looking at. I get the feeling that it's sketchy, and that part makes me very angry. And so that's why I speak the way I do. And so on and so forth, man. I understand that the business may be a bit more complicated than I understand it to be, to say the least. I think it could be harder to move players around than I think it is, or maybe more going on with the sport than as simply as, you know, put the big guys on the floor and we're going to win. But I know it is as simple as put the small guys on the floor and you're going to struggle. You know, I know that. So it's just, it gets to a point where it's like, all right, I'm sick of people telling me I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm sick of people telling me I don't know how to win because I never played the game or what have you. You know, it's like, that's not true, bro. That's just not true. The game is complicated, but it's not as complicated as a lot of people who want to give themselves excuses want to tell the people who ain't taking them excuses from them. And that's the God's honest truth. So that's really what it is, man. I want people to take control of what it is they can control and discover ways of controlling things better, because there are ways to do so. I think tonight the Lakers didn't really help themselves as it pertains to getting the rest that they ultimately need. There were ways to simultaneously win this basketball game and buy yourself more rest than we got. So that's right there is, I think, something that we could take a look at when assessing what happened here, just to end the season and how things are about to go. So, look, man, this Phoenix team, they didn't test us very much tonight. This was a game that we didn't really play well enough to necessarily defeat a good team, but still managed to be credited with a win, just like the Utah game. I don't know if I should walk away from that, as I often walk away from situations like that, but I don't feel confident that really anything good is going to happen in the next game based on what I saw in this one. Now, granted, Utah's probably going to sit people too, so it doesn't really matter. They're Utah. We just beat them anyway. We'll probably get them again. But something to know about the Utah game, it's a 12:30 game, and we know how that goes. Sunday, 12:30? I don't know. And plus, the Lakers may rest their starters depending on how things go with the Golden State matchup. I don't know when Portland plays Golden State, but if we know the outcome of that game before our game starts, it'll determine a lot of what it will not do, I think, because it'll tell the story whether or not the game makes any sense to really go all in on. But only time will tell. I don't really know how that's scheduled. Warriors did win tonight. As I told you they would. They beat the Kings. Beat them real easy. That was not a problem. Just like I told y'all, it's playoff time. And if you're counting on Steph Curry to lose basketball games, you are not in the right sport. As I'll tell you right now, him losing basketball games this time of year is not a good bet for anybody. I don't care what team he's on. Just know that. It's never a good bet to bet against Steph Curry near the end of the irregular season. Just don't do that. And so that's what I'm not doing. I think the Lakers are going to be the 7th seed, and I don't have a problem with that because, well, I don't have a choice. We are lucky enough to even be in a play-in tournament with the way we started the season, and with the way our coaches strategized, we were lucky to win the games we won after that. So pretty much, I'm very pleased that we have such talented basketball players that can overcome our accidents or whatever, and I think we saw a lot of that tonight. That's exactly what I saw. I saw D'Angelo Russell shoot us out of a situation that otherwise would have been a close game. Saw Malik Beasley shoot us out of a situation that otherwise, if he would have bricked all them shots, probably would have been a blowout the other way. So it's like, I'm happy. You know, how it goes is this. We got one more game left for the season. And while this hasn't been our most fun season, we hate the off season because there ain't nothing going on. And we're going to miss basketball and all the different things that we love. So when I was sitting up there not really interested in doing homework on the Phoenix Suns, I had to remind myself that I only got one more of these processes to go before the playoffs. And if we go in the play-in tournament, who knows how many of those I get. with this team and the way things are going. So got to seize the moment, appreciate NBA basketball, and trust that this is indeed a moment in time that you never get again, just like every other moment. So hopefully when we go out here against these Utah Jazz, we get a little bit of a respect. I would have said revenge, but we won the game. So we just need to go ahead and take back our pound of flesh for what they almost took out of us in the game that we felt like we lost, even though we were credited to win. Wasn't no win for us, given the fact that we didn't get the sleep we needed so that we couldn't win in the game that we really, really, truly wanted to win, which was the Clipper game. And that's another thing. Tone is an important thing to understand here, man. Tone. With every fan base and any organization you go to, every athlete has to question whether or not they give a damn about the culture there. You know what I mean? Like, do you really care, or are you just here for your moment, here for the money, here for your own thing, whatever. But if you're really buying into this Laker thing, tone is important. And what that means is the tone here is, I don't care if you beat anybody at all. Just make sure you beat the Celtics and the Clippers. If you can't win nothing but 6 games a year, make sure you win those. That's the tone. Because those are our real rivals, not the fake rivals, not the people that we kind of want to be our rivals. The Celtics are our real rivals, and the Clippers are the people that we really have problems with down the hall, in a tribal city at that. So they're the other side. We can't stand them. Please make sure that you have your game on deck when you put on a Laker uniform. You go against the Clippers, because if you load manage that, or you consider that a scheduled loss, and we're thinking it's a big game, like a really big game, we can sour on you for losing it. Like straight up sour. And I think that's what the Lakers ran into last night. Or the night, whatever night that was, night before. You can't have a lackadaisical game against the Clippers and then tell us before the game that it's the biggest game of the season, that it's for all the marbles, that we're going to try to get out of the play-in tournament, get us a 5 seed, and all this is on the line. The Clippers got the same thing on the line, and you got ex-players over there who want to beat us, and it's all this storyline, all this going on. And then when you get down there, your strategy doesn't match up with the team. See, if you're too tired to defend, that's one thing. I heard somebody say, oh, the Lakers were too tired to defend. They were leaving shooters open because they didn't want to get out to the three-point arc because, they were too slow, they were sluggish. That's not what that was. No, that's not what I saw. What I saw was people not attempting to get out to three-point shooters, not legs heavy, going slow, standing still, looking at the shooter. That's what I saw against Utah, and that's what I saw against the Clippers. So I'm not buying the whole sluggish thing, because I know a tired team can be tired and still have a strategy out there that looks better than what we had. Tired ain't got nothing to do with people being bigger and smaller and all this other stuff than each other. You got to match up. And then if the matchups don't make sense, fatigue doesn't even come into play. You know what I mean? Like, nobody cares how tired you guys are if they were never in a position to defend the person in front of them, even if they were at full strength in the first place. And that's the problem. It's like Darvin. You gotta understand that your fan base is watching these games, bro. You can't just tell us this stuff as if we're not watching it ourselves. We're watching too. And we know the team is not lining up properly. So when you tell us that they just got to play hard and they're just not going hard enough, we're looking at you like we don't agree. Never mind if that's what you see, then we don't agree, because we know that you could have did things to make their life easier. And you just chose not to do those things. So it's like, man, we don't want to hear that no more. We don't want to hear that no more. We know how hard our players are fighting for us. We don't want to hear that their effort is being diminished anymore. when it's not the effort that's causing them to failure. And so, salute to Kobe Minute. Definitely want to give him his credit every time, man. But that's not a discredit to LeBron James. That's like, our love for Kobe is not something that somebody's going to be able to rub off of us. Our appreciation for our past Lakers, that's not something that you're going to be able to earn away. I get the feeling that Bron thought, and I'm saying this because I've been getting a vibe, just listening to stuff, listening to some of the stuff he's been saying, listening to some of the stuff that's being said around him. I get the feeling that he thought that because of his cachet, that he was going to come here, win a ring, and then he was going to adapt to that love and be one of us and like that. But what he has to understand is because he's that pinnacle, because he's supposed to be better than Kobe, he's got to display an excellence that's greater than Kobe's. That's the problem. When you get here, you actually realize that we know what excellence is, that we're not casuals, that we're not just sitting here chilling, waiting for somebody to give us something, that we are in detail-oriented group here, and we didn't just watch greatness, we were studying it. You know, Kobe wasn't just screaming at a bunch of fans as he was shooting the ball. We were in there with him. He was teaching us. Every time we listened to him speak, he was displaying to us what greatness was versus what it wasn't. Job not finished. Like, he taught us that. When he went on Jimmy Kimmel and he was looking at these teammates of his and they weren't doing what it is that he respected, and we saw his face, he was teaching us the standard for what was to be to come. So anybody that came up with that type of folly energy was going to be looked at with the same stench that he looked at that camera with. I'm trying to tell you something. When he yelled at his teammates and told them, y'all ain't doing nothing for me in practice, y'all ain't did nothing for me, he was setting a standard, because we knew if people weren't doing what they're supposed to be in practice, this is the type of energy that the excellence displayed lets people see. Not nice, because nice is going to make people think that doing things the wrong way is going to continue to be acceptable, and it's not if you're trying to win. Buddy ball doesn't hold people accountable in that way. It's passive. It doesn't communicate properly. It allows things to go bad before they actually tell people things have gone in a way that they don't accept. We can't wait that long because we're trying to win. So I got to tell you to your face, you helping us lose. However that's conveyed, it has to come out. Because if it don't, we don't have time to go down this path and find out together. If I already know that path ain't no good, I'm going to stop us from going, because that's my job as a leader. And see, that's what I was taught. That's not something I just picked up and I'm trying to bully LeBron with it. Nah, this is what we were taught. This is how champions lead, brother. And that's what I'm saying. If he was raised in this environment with this culture, he would understand he don't have to do nothing more or less than he's already doing as it pertains to earning our respect. It's not about earning respect. It's about detail. You ain't worried about us at all. That's the point. We ain't even here because you're too busy focused on what needs to be done. That's what the greatness taught me. That's what they taught me. They don't hear the noise. The noise fuels them to focus more because they know how to shut us up. It's by doing things correctly. Just like I was saying in the video prior to. We're trying to have them championship. We're trying to have those champagne moments. That's what I call it. The moments where the champagne shower is all over your head and they shaking up the bottles and they having those moments where you got to put the goggles on because the champagne's everywhere. You don't get those moments unless you have these talks. You don't get those moments unless you look somebody in the eye and say, bro, you're not doing enough. You need to sit down. Why? Because we know the person who's going to get up is the person that needs to be there in order for us to get there. And we all going to win together. He going to be mad till he see them shots fall. And then he going to be on that bench clapping and doing all types of arrows pointing in the air and all that. Because winning begets more happiness for everybody. So that's what I'm here to say. I'm not here to be nice because I know what's nice. Champagne moments is nice. Banners is nice. Parades on Figueroa is nice. That's what's nice. That's what's fun. Russell's telling us to aim for lower because he didn't know any better. He ain't never had no moment like that. He don't even know what it takes to get to that point. So he's still rooting for stuff at the bottom. That's why I told him to go to the Clippers. They don't know either. Y'all gonna learn together someday. Maybe not. But the point is we know. We know. So don't come over here telling folks who's already done it a million times a bunch of stuff that's going to get us, have us evolving backwards, like, oh, okay, yeah, let's have fun. As if we don't know what it takes to win. Russell, let us lead you. That's what we were trying to tell him. Like, nah, bro, you don't want to have no fun. You want to get greedy. Let us lead you to a championship, and then you'll know. You can teach others how to survive these situations instead of trying to have fun. Losers going to have fun. Let's teach you now how not to lose. But if people are too much in their ego, they don't want to listen to winners tell them how to win. Or they think they know how to win, and they got it already, even though their record shows us that they don't. They literally don't. Then they're going to get all offended by us, and they're going to go to another organization, take their loser mentality, and disappoint somebody else. Or you could take the tough love that comes from the people that bleed purple and gold and know damn well that we ain't going to lead ourselves to no losing. You think we want to lose? We talking our way to losing? No, we're trying to win. So if you listen to us, you're going to follow us to the victory. And that's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with him. That's where my confidence is taking me. Because I know what winners can do. Even if I don't know the X's and O's of the game, I know how winners prepare. I know that winners conversate in a certain way. They communicate a certain way. Bron putting on a green jacket was communicating to me and everybody else at Laker Nation who would dare tell him that he needs to be doing something better on that basketball floor, the big old finger. And that he can go anywhere on earth, including the Celtics, and be wanted. And I guess Anthony co-signed that because he wore green too. I speak that language, and I'm fine with it. It's cool, bro. Because you may have felt rejected by the things that we're saying. You may have felt rejected by people painting over your murals and stuff. But you got to understand what it took to earn those murals. You got to understand what it took. You know how many air balls Kobe shot against the Utah Jazz back in like 1997 in the playoffs? How many air balls? He had to come back and redeem himself from shooting like 4 air balls in the fourth quarter, something crazy like that. It takes a long time to gain that respect. You don't get that overnight here. He didn't get that overnight here. You know what I'm saying? When I sit up here and say salute to Kobe, man, it wasn't because he was here for no 5 years and gave me 1 ring. You know how many times I watched that dude fight through injury, fight through pain, sit on bad teams, starting the season with media day with nothing but scrubs. The whole team is trash. I'm telling you, when I salute the Kobe minute, I remember all that. It ain't just championships. I remember the bad. I remember getting beat by 41 to the Boston Celtics in the finals, where Rod Monovic is my shooting small forward. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Respect is not earned overnight. And I think that people think something's one way until they get here and realize it ain't that. That's the problem. People disappointed in us. They disappointed in Laker Nation because we not the fluff that ESPN told them we were. Just like they not the players ESPN told us they were. We ain't the heavenly, sit over here, relax in the sunshine fan base that everybody thinks we are. We're more like the Boston and the Chicago fans. We're more like that on the inside. The real ones, we go to toe-to-toe with all them dudes in their bars with their beers because we've won as much as them, if not more. We know what it takes to get more. We ain't just happy to be here. And so that's what I want to say, man. And that's what I want to get up here and say. I'm proud the Lakers won tonight's basketball game. I am. I'm always happy when we beat a team like the Phoenix Suns, who we've had many rivalries with, who's knocked us out of the playoffs in the past. It's happened before. We're happy to beat them. But I don't believe that we strategized to the betterment of our health tonight. When I see Anthony Davis and LeBron James play that many minutes, and I see the back of the bench players not play at all in the game where all of the starters on the other team are out, and Max Christie don't get no minutes. See, for me, I gotta dumb it down to be appreciative. That's my problem. I gotta forget that I want to see Max Christie and Lonnie Walker and Wenyen Gabriel and Mo Bamba more than a total of 25 minutes in this basketball game. I gotta forget that part. Look at the fact that Malik Beasley shot well and that he chose to play Malik Beasley. And that he chose to play Malik Beasley and he shot well is something I should say is excellent for Darvin Ham standards. You know what I'm saying? Left us with no size. We got away with it because we were going up against Londale. Luckily, Biyombo, knock on wood, he had to be removed from the game for our sake. You know what I'm saying? Not happy about his circumstance, but for us, we needed him removed so that our size circumstance could make sense. Anthony Davis cobbled up boards, took advantage of that, didn't score nothing, but he took advantage of the fact that everybody on the floor was tiny. That's good. But all we did was make it easier for them and harder for ourselves by being just as tiny and then asking the smallest guy, once again, to just lead our offense because it's so very important that he Get in rhythm. Now, I don't know why this is. I truly don't. Because I can tell you right now, I'd rather just give all 10 of those shots to Lonnie Walker. Or half of those shots to Lonnie, half of those shots to Rui. I don't see the emphasis on why that particular human must get all his shots up. That part I don't get. I don't get it. I can argue. I'm legitimately arguing he's the worst player on the team, which is a good thing because we're like the deepest team in the league, so he's very good. But like, he's probably the worst one. Why not Devon Reed? Why not ask Devon Reed to take 15 shots? I don't see no difference. Well, Devon's not a three-point shooter, so that would technically not be the right thing. But maybe you have Devon Reed play like 15 straight defensive possessions. He's a defensive player, right? To make it equivalent. Put Devon Reed on the best player on the other team for like 4 possessions in a row. That's equivalent, right? For what it is he brings to the table. I mean, like, why not put that emphasis on him then? If we just want to pick a guy on the back of the bench and say, yo, you're the focal point tonight. You're shooting more than 80. Okay, cool. But why? See, the problem is I also have the answer in my head. I'm just playing stupid. The answer is because he's making $16 million. That's why. And I guess that means something to our organization for some reason. Trust me, if I were the owner, it would matter not. If my name is Mr. Bus, I'm telling you, Malik Beasley doesn't need to play. Just because I'm paying him $16 million for the season. Doesn't need to play. It's fine. It's literally fine. Call on him when you absolutely need what he does. That's it. That's what a good owner is going to tell. That's what a savvy, a knowledgeable owner is going to tell coach. Bro, ain't necessary. It's just not. That's not even the salary we actually want him at. So we don't need to do that. That's actually Austin Reeves' salary anyway. He's going to get that money as soon as possible. So just pretend like he already has it. Play him like that. See what I'm saying? And these are things that I would tell Darvin Ham. But the bothersome thing is that the organization shouldn't have to even do that. None of that should even have to be said. It should be understood because that's what the numbers tell you. That's what his production this season has told you. That he is not a $16 million player. So you don't feature him like a $16 million player. You know, by this standard, we should have been giving Mozgov all the looks when we had him on our team. It should have been a dang Mozgov show. Luol Deng and because they were the ones making the most money, right? They were eating up all the cap. They were the ones on the contracts that were ridiculous. So clearly they should have been featured more. That's where we went wrong. I guess we've learned from our mistakes. He should have been. I get it now. Forgive me. My God. We beat the Suns. I am so concerned about this play-in tournament game. I am so concerned about this. Are we supposed to see who? New Orleans? Another ex-Laker that would be nothing but motivated to beat us? In his house? I hope it ain't in his house, but it looked like it might be in his house if things get worse. I don't think it will. Maybe not. Either way, we have to go up against him. Or Minnesota. I don't think anybody wants to go against Minnesota with them 2 centers. Or OKC and SGA and Baby Magic Johnson and all those guys. I think that kid had 100 steals. Ain't that what I just read somewhere? I think he either 100 steals, 200 steals, some ridiculous number of steals that Baby Magic Johnson had. That's J-Dub for anybody who's wondering. Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm just at a point where I'm like, can we get that player on this team, though? Can we do that? Can we do that? That's where my head is, man. So, a game ball, I'm not really sure, man. It's got to be one of the guys who was really productive, man. I ain't really made up my mind if I want to give it to AD for the 21 rebounds or 3 blocks, or if I want to give it to Austin Reeves for the fantastic efficiency, or if I want to give it to D'Lo for the 3-point shooting, or if I want to just give it to Beasley for just being very aggressive. All 4 of those guys ultimately were the reason we won tonight. That's what it was for me. Those were the guys. I don't know. I'm stuck, to be honest with you, as far as the game ball. I'm really legitimately stuck. Which is, I guess, a good thing, man, because that means multiple guys played well. So I'm just gonna throw a rabbit in the hat and just say I'll give it to AD, man. I'll give it to AD because he was the guy in the paint, rebounding the ball, ultimately taking advantage of the fact that size mismatch was down there, with Biyombo having to exit. And so that's what I'll do. I'll just give it to AD, even though all three of those guards were fantabulous all the way around. I really liked that they could contributed so much to the scoring and ultimately just held us down despite having a lot going up against us. A lot going against us. Not really on the floor, but just more so the aura of everything. And Anxiety Arenas, I always tell you guys, it's hard to win in that building if you're the Lakers. And I thought we struggled in the first half with a lot of that going on, man. So, I don't know, man. People want to get mad at us for telling the truth. I'm not sorry, man. I just want people to know how sorry I'm not. Because I know if people believe in what I believe in, they're going to have them champagne showers, man. So if I got to apologize for trying to get us there, nah, I'm not going to do that. I would more so have to apologize for not and allowing this nonsense while, doing what everybody else is doing. Yeah, we're going to be fine. It's okay if we lose, and we ain't never going to have another banner with people like that running the organization. Yeah, it's fine. Let's just lose, man. It's cool, bro. Everybody's losing. Let's do it together. We're never going to have champagne showers, that crap. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.